Governor's Island. Governor's Island was the opening of a artist building there. One of the artists that I curated had the opportunity to have her project there in the artist building. And it's perfect because they have their really Daria Fine and Robert Kochik. It's called Commoning and Prosody on Governor's Island. And their project has been happening for many years. They've worked on language, the origins of language, and their through physicality, architecture, how language affects us in communication to the world. And it felt like it was a really integrative project, and also that it could exist in Governor's Island on its own, and people could travel there and actually look for it and search for it. And it was part of diversifying the program also into a political realm, because they're very socially conscious, and in their work, yeah, it felt like some other events that you have to travel to something. It was part of our rigorous ideas that you have to look for it and take the trip and commit to it. And their work is very much like that and represents that for us. That was Governor's Island.
Abolitionist poems were so beautifully written. Slaveholders reading them over breakfast would not even lose their appetite. Quicker to a field of blood than to a wedding. Quicker to a wedding than to a march against war.
Rhythm is a great word because I feel it most with the exchange students, or people that exchange artists actually for movement research, people that come from out of town that have not been in New York and they have to travel to find something, and people get lost and they see other parts of the city, and it's been through them when they arrive somewhere and they said, I got totally lost, or I found it right away and I've never been to Brooklyn. I thought, yes, that's really awesome that, you know, we spread it out, which produces problems in some ways, but I think we found a rhythm of managing how to get people from one to the other place to make it more of an exploratory idea, and the traveling and getting somewhere is part of what you do. It's not just arriving, but you have to figure it out. The moment you read where it is, you kind of start the process of where you're going to go and the project. So it felt that that was all kind of involving and tying the festival together. It's this rhythm of traveling and finding. The Brain Theater was a workshop with Wendy Suzuki. She's a professor for neuroscience at NYU. And I've been studying neuroscience for a couple of years, and it's interesting in my own work. It's kind of also how to expand my work into another community, and I've performed a lot for movement disorder congresses with the work that I did. So I've been involved in the science community, and it has been kind of separate in my New York time. I've toured with the work, and then a couple of years ago I started to study neuroscience, and I met Wendy through another professor, and she is really into movement, and she was very fascinated with dance, and we talked about it, and I thought it would be so fascinating to have a lecture in the brain dissections, because I've done brain dissections before, and it's incredibly fascinating to what we work with all the time, our physicality, to look at a brain outside of the body is a very special experience. And the lecture and the way she does it also has a performative aspect to it. A lecture is a very, I was interested in the performative aspect of the lecture. So to combine that both, to have a workshop that is unusual in a festival like that, that is very much related to physicality and the performance investigation, as we deal with our bodies all the time. We are scientists, just in another way, in the same field. And I think it's so important that there's more connection between art and science. And it's kind of my way to bring in and to start more conversation. And she did it in CPR at a performance space. And she set up her table and the brains, and all of us were standing around. And she had a performance light from above, and it felt like this mixture between learning and experiencing and performing, in a way, being part of a performance. So that was the Brain Theater workshop. As the festival is happening, it's like the dam broke and now we're just in it. And the processing of what it actually is, I think, will come in the aftermath. Now we've, for months, just sat there and thought it out and written emails, and then all of a sudden it's really happening. And I think this is just another phase of the process of the festival for us, for the curators. And to see it unfold, the things that we said and just threw out words a couple months ago, that's really a special feeling. I've never collaborated with people that I don't really know. I usually choose my collaborators, so to be with 3 other people that you don't know artistically, but collaborate with, is a hit or miss. Can be great, or maybe could be terrible. And we've had such a good time because there's something about our strengths and weaknesses and ideas that really fit together well. So I'm grateful that the project